Math 76, Lesson 14, the number line and negative numbers. So in the past, we may have mentioned that we cannot do subtractions like 3 minus 5. That's going to change today, as our knowledge of the number line will help us out with that. What happens when you run out of numbers in subtraction? Well, the number line will show us. So the number line is an arrangement of what we would call all real numbers, and it shows us specific numbers. So here we see our normal counting numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this arrow to the right shows that those numbers continue in that trend infinitely, which means we'll count from 1 to forever, and we could never stop drawing our number line. So we just put that little arrow at the end so we don't have to keep drawing numbers forever. And then in the middle of our number line we have the number 0, right? Now to the left of 0 we see all these negative numbers. So we have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and then another arrow showing that that trend continues off into infinity as well. Now, this group of numbers that we see right here are what we call integers. Now, integers are every single positive number, all their negative counterparts, and the number 0. And the negative counterparts is an interesting way to think of positive numbers. So, like, let's say we take the number 2 here. If we think of it in terms of the number line, the number 2 is a distance of 2 spaces away from the number 0. Now, if we were to go in the opposite direction of 0, and we were to go to the left instead of the right, 2 spaces, we have the opposite of 2, or -2. So it can be said that -2 is the opposite of 2, or we could also say that 2 is the opposite of -2, right? So all the integers are every single whole number, the number 0, and all the opposites of all the whole numbers, or all the negative numbers. That's what we call integers. And this knowledge of the number line and integers will help us do things like subtract 5 from 3. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And then the other key point to remember here is that when you're at the number line and you look at 0, positive numbers or addition will always move to the right. And then negative numbers or subtraction will always move to the left. So, key rule to remember when using your number line. I feel like my camera is slightly out of focus. Let's see what we can do about this. Oh, wrong way. Yes, that seems much clearer. Okay. And yeah, we could also move in a little closer too. Yeah. So remember, subtraction and negative goes to the left, addition and positive moves to the right. So with that in mind, let's do 3 minus 5. Now, some of you are saying this can't be done, or some of you are saying I've already done this. That's fine. We're going to go through the motions anyway. So the way we would do this is we'd start off at the number 3, right? And in order to do minus 5, we would subtract 5 spaces to the left. So we'd go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've subtracted 5 spaces from the number 3, and we stopped on the number -2, which means that our answer is -2. Now, that might seem a little weird, but this will also work with traditional subtraction. Let's take something easy. Let's say we have 7 minus 2. We know the answer is going to be 5. Let's see if this method can confirm it on the number line. So let's start at the number 7. If we want to subtract 2 spaces, we're going to move 2 spaces left. So 1, 2, we land on the number 5. This checks out. So we can do all kinds of addition and subtraction with the aid of a number line. And for those of you that have trouble doing subtraction this way, I highly recommend drawing a number line on your paper. Right? So for example, if we had to do, let's do 5 minus 8. Right? So I'm going to start off at the number 5. And I'm going to move over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces. I'm at -3, so my answer is -3. And then we could also do 1 minus 5. This will be the last one, and then we'll move on to the rest of the lesson. So 1 minus 5. If I start off at 1, I go to the left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. I'm at -4. And this also works with addition. So really quick, let's say I had -4 plus 2. Or, let's make this a bigger number. Let's make this plus 8. -4 plus 8, right? So I'd start off at -4, and if I'm adding, I move to the right. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I end at +4. All right, so that's really quick demonstration on how to use the number line, how to do addition and subtraction. with numbers less than 0. Oh wait, that's all there is for this lesson. Okay. Oh, there is some greater and less than. So with that in mind, one greater and less than note is that if we were to compare two numbers, like let's say we have -6 compared to -1, the question is which number is greater? Well, that answer is given to us by which number is farthest to the right on the number line. So in this case of comparing -6 and -1, the greater value is actually -1. Right? Because -1 is farther to the right on the number line. So as you go left on the number line, or the larger your negative number gets, the smaller it actually gets, because it's getting farther and farther away from 0, which we would count as nothing. So the bigger a negative is, the smaller it actually is. So that's an interesting tidbit. So let's say we had to put some numbers in order. Let's say we had the following numbers: -3, we'll put 0, 2, -10, and 50. And the book will ask you questions like this. They'll say, hey, look at these numbers, and they want you to put them in order from least to greatest, or the smallest number first and the biggest number last. So if we want the smallest number, we have to find the biggest negative, right? The biggest negative would be 10. So I'd start off with -10. The next negative would be -3. After that, I have no more negatives, right? So we'll go ahead and cross those out. So the next small number would be 0. And then after that, it's really simple. 2 is smaller than 50. All right, so that's how you order negative numbers. That's it for this lesson. If you have any questions, let me know on the school website, and I will see you in class.